Hey everyone, Clip Butler here for another episode of SEO This Week. As a matter of fact, we're at episode number 15, talking about social media, SEO trends, analytics, and a little bit of local SEO. Actually, a bit of local SEO. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started. The first site we're looking at is Moz, again, a Whiteboard Friday. This is hosted by Tara Reed, and she runs or is part of a social media and digital marketing company in the greater Washington area, I believe. Now, why are we highlighting this thing? It's actually pretty cool. I suggest you watch the video, but here is the short version. First, we're talking about how to use Twitter to gain some reach and actually get traffic. Now, if you're like me, oftentimes you'll find that, one, you have to post a lot on Twitter, and it's rather irritating to have to post that much to get any amount of traffic, and then it's really hard to sustain. So she's given us a process that will help you out in a little bit to manage it and maybe think about setting it up. And you can do this, like, go through the process every 2 weeks and set up the automation, and then you're actually pretty good to go. So first is the reach. Picking up some keywords. She gives you some ideas on how to find your target people that you want to reach in a much better way. And then she talks about how you like their posts, you follow them, you add them to lists, and you send direct messages. She gives a couple of tools to use. Both of them, they're okay. Are they the only solutions? I don't think so. I think you guys can find some other ones. Maybe Hootsuite, or a couple other softwares and tools. We use one for our bulk Twitter stuff, so we're going to give this a shot with our bulk accounts and see what happens. The second is she talks about is how to get through how to generate the click. So here's it's called a 14-day experiment is what she's offering you. So Sunday through Saturday, every day you send out 14 tweets. And because the reason for that is because you're not spending a lot of time there, so in the likelihood of actually seeing your tweet, if you only tweet once a day, is less. And if you put it 14 times, then it's a lot more. How this works is you do a blog post link, and then a tweet, like a regular old tweet, and then an image, and then text the tweet, an image, tweet, etc. So in your tweets and in your images, you have the link to your blog post you're promoting, but you're not promoting, you're saying different things out of the excerpts of your blog post. And you set up 14 days on a spreadsheet for each blog post. So one blog post, 14 days, or 14 tweets, 14 blog posts. And what you get out of that is 14 tweets a day for 14 days. We're going to create a spreadsheet for you, and when we try this out ourselves and go through the process using another tool, and you'll see that blog post on the site. So if you're not already on our newsletter or subscribe to our push notifications, go ahead and get on that so you can get this spreadsheet and the tool that we're going to use to do this and implement it. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And then finally, it's a recycle. Basically, this is a little bit more automation as well. You can use Meet Egger and basically find out when the best times it is for you to tweet and find out which ones actually drive the most engagement, and then you can use that information later for the next 14 weeks when you're promoting more stuff. Now, what happens if you don't have 14 blog posts? That's all right. You got 14 pages on your site. Most people will have 14 pages. The average is what we're running into is maybe 20, 30 pages. So you just keep doing that over and over again. You don't have to make new stuff. You can keep repeating the same tweets, or fine-tune some words in there, make it a little bit better, optimize, find out your perfect thing, and if you're getting traffic from it, keep on going with that. So again, watch the video, get some ideas about it, follow this out, and then watch for the spreadsheet and the tutorial on the tool that we're going to use to implement this strategy. Okay, next is the SEO Trends for 2017. You guys are going to see a lot of these posts. It's a roll-up post. Basically, you go out, you find some experts, you ask them a question, they send it back to you, and you put it up in a post and go, ta-da, you are a genius. A lot of people read these, so it makes sense to do them. However, as with anything, you ask 44 people something and you're going to get 44 different answers. which kind of makes it a little bit confusing. But there are some insights in here that I think you might like. And to that we say, duh. Google's already said that they're implementing what's called RankBrain. It's their artificial intelligence system, and that they plan on focusing more and more on AI for the search results. Those were one of the highlights out of this. For the 44 experts, most people agree that they should likely on links. Others saying more. We'll see how that goes. Another one is the implementation of AMP, Accelerated Mobile Pages. Personally, I think this thing's going to die. If publishers don't fall for Google's trick of getting you to set up your web pages so that it opens inside the search engines on a mobile phone and actually go to your site, then they're going to implement it more. But if you don't use it, then I think it's probably better for you. You're going to lose conversions unless you have a developer and the money to set it up properly to generate phone calls, email submits, or sales. So, in my opinion, AMP is not for anyone who's outside of the news publishing business. But if you're doing a news website, like you're in Google News, then AMP is probably a good option for you. But as on a whole, not all searches. As a matter of fact, most searches outside of news don't even have AMP displays on them, and they're just waiting for webmasters to adopt it so they can implement that in all their search results. I'm against it. I think it's just a ploy for Google to earn more money on the back of your content. So I say stay away from it, unless that's going to be you find it in your search terms. And I do a lot of local SEO for local businesses, and we're not seeing it in any of our search terms. So we're not even encouraging it or entertaining the idea of implementing AMP. And then one final thing is technical structure and work, i.e. on-page SEO. The technical side of it and the structural coding side is more important than ever. I don't think that's 2017 revelation. That's 2016, 2015 revelation. So make sure your on-page stuff is locked up. Okay, the next one we'll go to Martech today, and we're going to talk about what is machine learning. Really, this is a good post, and it kind of helps you understand what all these SEOs are saying machine learning is the best. It breaks down into pretty much the same thing I said about Google. They're doing it for money, and why about machine learning. And this is a post on how to use your data to justify your fixes. And specifically, we're getting into keywords. Now, there's a couple things you want to see here. You get into keyword research, and you're like, duh. But they're offering you a keyword template that does some formulas for you and kind of max out the data that you can gather. So it takes the data that you get out of like keyword research tool or like the keyword tools in Google, and then makes it mean something for you. So I suggest if you don't do anything, you at least download the attached spreadsheet, and you can find it inside the article under the keyword template. Pretty sure I linked it in the SEO this week too, so dig that out. And then finally, the spreadsheet, how to read the data. The formulas are already there, so you just kind of put the numbers in where it tells you to, and then ta-da, it works. And then you look at it and you see this is why you change the data. This is how to examine it and look at it and justify some of your changes, your keyword research step, which, as we all know, is the most important anyway. Next, we can go to KISS metrics. We're going to do this on two different blog posts that they did, and they're both on Google Analytics. And the first is the Beginner's Guide to Audience Segmentation. A lot of people know that these are all in there, but they don't really have any ideas on what to do with it. I like them because you can learn a lot of demographic stuff about your audience in the general sense. But if you look at this, you can kind of get some more ideas on, one, how to use it, how to make some changes, and then kind of some cool things to look for. Whether it's valuable to you and your business, you'll have to see, but at least you'll know that it's in your analytics and you can actually might be able to do something with it. I think, honestly, the demographic stuff is probably the most important, especially if you're going to transfer over from searching using, let's say, Google AdWords, where you're searching keywords, to Facebook pay-per-click, where you're doing interests. This might actually help you out in your targeting. So check it out, find out who's coming to your website in a more specific way. It's pretty good information. And then the next one is gaps that you need to plug in your Google Analytics. It starts off with some things that are good, and then some things that need to be, kind of fixed in their opinion. And then kind of how to get around and adjust that a little bit and look at your data in a different way inside of Google Analytics to pull this stuff out. And then it gives you some, some other insights to maybe fix it. Again, it is Kissmetrics, so they probably, if I haven't clicked all the links in here, so it'll lead my guess to a trial or looking at their products. But again, these are two really good blog posts that you should check out. And next is this is a question we answer all the time: is SEO work? We're going to do it now and be done with it, or we got to keep going? And this article really tells you why you need to keep going. So the short version is, once you're number one, you're at the mountain. You're at the mountaintop. But guess what? Everyone else underneath you is climbing to get to the mountaintop, just like you did when your page was 4, 5, 6, or on page 2. So you need to make sure you're maintaining your position and you're always building the mountain higher. So it takes more for them to get on top of you, if that makes any sense. And this kind of explains it in a different perspective than what I just said. But it really just says, hey, these are what you should be doing as a foundation, the one-time work that everyone's looking for, and then the things you should always continue to do, which is build that mountain higher and higher while you're on top of it. And finally, Google My Business. We're going to look at this thing here. We're testing this out, actually. Is Google My Business, do the photos matter? Now, they're surmising that because it says businesses with recent photos typically receive more clicks to their website on the bottom of one of the charts, and then your photos receive 39.3% more views than similar businesses post more to stay ahead on another one. And there's the third one that says photo quality is saying you have more or less than businesses just like you, that this may be an indicator for rankings. It's actually pretty interesting. So here's how you test it yourself. I have an iPhone, so I'm going to be talking iPhone in general, but put the Google My Business iPhone app on, and just take pictures around your business. Offices, maybe the landscaping, the staff, maybe customers, or working things, or just whatever relates to your business, and start adding that to your Google My Business page. See if that actually helps boost your rankings in maps. Easy as that, really. There's no proof that is what is happening, but I can tell you from my experience as a Google local guide that we've been getting 1,000 to 5,000 views on images just from walking around and clicking or taking pictures of other people's businesses for them, as a general thing that we're doing with the course of what we do during the day. So I think it's really, what is it going to hurt? It's going to cost you 5 minutes to take some pictures once or twice a week, and then you're done with it, and then upload them to your Google My Business page and go from there. Well, that's it for this week, and I hope you enjoyed episode 15, Social Media Trends, SEO Trends, Analytics, and Local SEO, as presented by Olympia SEO. And as always, if you know of any more sites that we should be following to monitor for you and continue to do these weekly roll-ups, please let us know in the comments box or on social media. And have a great, happy holidays.